What if I told you that there's one small habit, something millions of travelers do without thinking, that can quietly get you denied boarding by an airline even when your ticket is paid, your passport is valid, and you're standing right there at the gate wondering what just happened? Because this isn't about money or visas, or even security checks the way people usually imagine. It's about behavior, perception, and how airlines now see risk in ways most passengers never talk about out loud. And as someone who's planned travel for decades and worked closely with airport operations and security teams, I can tell you this shift is real. It's happening fast, and it's catching good people completely off guard, especially older travelers and first-time international flyers who think being polite and quiet is enough. But let me walk you into a real scene. You arrive early, coffee in hand, scrolling your phone, maybe a little stressed but excited. The gate area is crowded, boarding is delayed, announcements are unclear, tempers are short, and then it happens. You sigh loudly, you argue softly with a gate agent, you joke about how security is crazy these days, or you pace back and forth checking your watch again and again. Harmless, right? Except from the airline side. This is where everything changes, because airlines today operate under a concept called discretionary denial of boarding, which means they are legally allowed to refuse transport if a passenger appears disruptive, non-compliant, unfit to fly, or likely to cause issues on board. And here's the part nobody explains on YouTube. The definition of disruptive has expanded quietly over the last few years. It's no longer just shouting or refusing instructions. It now includes repeated complaints, visible agitation, passive-aggressive comments, filming staff without consent, joking about security, arguing about seat assignments, or even hovering too close to the boarding desk, especially during delays. And yes, I've seen passengers denied boarding simply for refusing to step aside when asked. No yelling, no swearing, just that moment of resistance. Because airlines don't wait for problems anymore, they prevent them. And prevention means judgment calls made in seconds by overworked gate agents who are trained to spot potential friction before it boards. A metal tube at 35,000 feet, and once that decision is made, it's almost impossible to reverse. Because airline staff are backed by policy, federal regulations, and internal incident logs that follow your booking, your loyalty number, sometimes even your previous trips. And no, this isn't paranoia. This is how modern aviation protects itself from fines, diversions, viral videos, and lawsuits. And what makes this habit so dangerous is that passengers don't realize they're doing it. Things like questioning every instruction, correcting staff publicly, standing up repeatedly during boarding delays, making sarcastic remarks, insisting on your rights, or trying to explain yourself emotionally instead of calmly. All of these send tiny signals, and airlines are trained to read signals, not intentions. They don't care if you're a good person. They care if you look like a future problem. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Older travelers often get flagged faster because airlines assume medical or compliance risks, while younger travelers get flagged for filming, arguing, or posting different reasons, same outcome. And once your name is marked at the gate, boarding can quietly close for you. You'll be told the flight is full, or that you missed final call, or that the captain made a decision. Vague words, very final. And at that point, arguing makes it worse, because now you're reinforcing the original concern. And I've watched this happen from behind the scenes. The shock on people's faces, the confusion, the anger. Because nobody ever warned them that attitude is now part of your boarding clearance. Not officially, but practically. And airlines won't explain this publicly because it would sound harsh, but they train for it constantly. And here's the part that most channels never tell you. This habit doesn't start at the gate. It starts earlier, at check-in, at security, at lounges. Every interaction builds a profile, not a conspiracy profile. A behavior pattern. Are you cooperative? Do you follow instructions quickly? Do you escalate small issues? Do you seem calm under stress? And yes, these notes can be internal, subtle, and legal. And they influence how staff respond to you later. Which is why two passengers can do the same thing and only one gets denied boarding. Because context matters, history matters, tone matters. And airlines today prioritize predictability above comfort. And if you feel unpredictable, even slightly, they will choose the safest option for them, not for you. And let me be clear. This isn't about being silent or submissive. It's about strategic calm, knowing when to speak and how, asking questions without challenging authority, stepping back when asked, avoiding jokes about bombs, security, delays, or incompetence, even if you think it's obvious humor. Because humor doesn't translate well in airports anymore, stress distorts everything, and one bad moment can erase years of clean travel history. And I've personally advised clients who lost expensive tickets because they just wanted to explain, and explaining emotionally is often what seals the decision. Because airlines interpret emotional persistence as future conflict, and the safest travelers today aren't the quiet ones. They're the adaptable ones, the ones who say okay even when it's frustrating, who step aside, who wait, who document later instead of confronting now. And that's the real hack nobody talks about. Your goal isn't to win the argument at the gate, it's to get on the plane. Because once you're on board, your rights increase, your protections improve, and leverage shifts slightly back to you. But before boarding, airlines hold almost all the power, legally and operationally. And this one common habit, reacting emotionally to uncertainty, questioning authority publicly, or showing visible frustration, is now one of the fastest ways to lose your seat without breaking any obvious rule. And if this surprised you, good. That means you can avoid it. Because the smartest travelers don't look confident. They look calm, they don't look right. They look easy to manage, and that may sound unfair. But aviation is not about fairness. It's about risk control. And once you understand that, you stop fighting the system and start moving through it smoothly. And that's exactly what Golden Age Travel Tips is about. Helping you travel smarter, quieter, and safer in a world where airlines watch behavior more than boarding passes. And if you remember one thing from this, remember this: the plane doesn't deny you. People do, and people decide in seconds, based on what they see, not what you mean.